Villainous stealth for villainous wealth.
Only shooting stars break the mold.
Hello everybody and welcome to Brawl Stars. I'm Amy the Amazonian and today I'm playing with Kotis, the Fangkeeper. If this deals combat damage to an opponent, you exile cards from the top of their deck and can cast any spells that are less than or equal to the mana value that is the damage you dealt. That's right, it's villainous wealth on a stick. And Kotis is also indestructible, making him perfect for various auras, +1/+1 counters, and mutate. The bigger you can make Kotis, the more damage you can deal, and the more you can steal. This deck is a bit of a hybrid deck. It has some nice auras, especially to help protect Kotis. It has some equipment so you can deal more damage and hit more than once, and it has lots of things that put +1/+1 counters on your creatures and make more counters so it can grow. I also couldn't resist playing some extra crime spells because I love playing my opponent's spells. It's one of my favorite things to do. In this deck, I'm running also a bunch of mutate cards because changing Kotis's base power and toughness is one of the best ways to get more damage in and still keep all of those abilities. So we can use Kotis and a little bit of growth to get some crime done. Let's take it into the queue and see what we can steal. Yurich the Desecrated. Yurich is another Sultai commander that's going to be, well, doubling up value. This time by having doubles on Enter the Battlefield. This is a pretty nice hand for me to start with. I've got Bill to start growing things. Something to help enable Bill, especially if I can get a land into the graveyard off, say, this Surveil. Excellent. Keeping the land on top is good, but I have Wary Zone Guard, so I'm going to put it into the graveyard. It's ramp. Let's see if we can get those lands of Fallen. Bristly Bill, when lands enter, I get a +1/+1 counter. There's a lot of enter the battlefield and then like destroy or exile cards that you can play with Yurich. So I feel like my stuff's not going to be safe. I'll play a land. I have to play Wary Zone Guard pre-combat. So it comes in tapped and then I get my Survivor trigger. And I'm going to put the counter onto Wary Zone Guard. I do have this Audacity. If I want to maximize damage, I could play that there, but I want to save it for Kotis. Llanowar Elf! Oh yeah! Thassa. So definitely doing Blink stuff. So far, no enter to battlefields to enter more battlefield with. I don't have a land in the graveyard. Sawtusk Demolisher can't do that much here. I guess I'll play this. Make my monster grow. I could have played Kotis first to grow Kotis, but I have this like feeling that whatever they're going to be playing this next turn is big scary. I just want to get damage in. Okay. It is big scary. It's the one ring. But it's more big scary in the fact that it prevents me from using Kotis next turn. I still want to attack with the Wary Zone Guard because it will still trigger and get bigger. And if I get a land in the graveyard, it'll trigger there too. Temporal Manipulation. This is not when I want you here. Swing with the Wary Zone Guard, so it gets a +1/+1 counter. And I'm debating stealing Llanowar Elf. I think it's gonna make me feel better about myself if I try to steal Llanowar Elf. Yeah. I've done some crime. It wasn't with Kotis, but I've done some crime. Let's see if they get a board wipe. They certainly have enough mana to wipe the board. No, it's Garuda! Garuda is going to mill both players and can get an even-costed thing. And then in end step, they'll do it again because they have Thassa. They got an Elysian Caryatid off the first hit, and off the second hit, Quandrix Cultivator. That's enough devotion for Thassa to become a creature. Which is actually kind of good for me because Well, now I can get rid of Thassa. I'm gonna just pay 2. She's a creature. She's gone. I will mutate. Or do I want extra turn? I think I want extra turn this time. I'm going to buff up Kotis. And go to combat. Oh no, I needed to Tassatas. I don't have enough mana here. That's fine. I'll still go to combat. See what they're, I don't know, open to blocking with. Oh, I get a land out from the graveyard because they milled me so much. No, I do have another blue. I was like thinking, I thought I did. And I do. Let's go breeding pool. Kotis enhance. Extra turn. Thanks for your zone guard. Make my Kotis Grotus. And I'll blast your island. Go to combat. Swinging with, you know what, everything. It'll make me feel better about myself if I'm attacking with more stuff. I think the only way they survive with those blocks is they also block the hostage taker there. Because this is 10 trampling damage. Oh, somebody's asking, would I have considered stealing the 1 ring with hostage taker? If I had enough mana to play it the same turn, yes. But against the Sultai deck, that's just so likely to let them get the 1 ring back again. All right, we got Satina, Cathon. Hey, I got good stuff. I love Leap Leap Guide. I was gonna be leaping and leafing. GG. Surak, Elusive Hunter. I think draws you a card when your stuff gets touched. So I'm gonna have to, like, not touch their stuff. Surak also can't be countered. And I do have a couple counter spells in this deck. Yeah, if a creature they control or a creature spell they control becomes the target of a spell, they draw a card. I love that it's like, or a creature spell. That's such a, I'm so sick and tired of you countering my spells. At least give me something in return. So here comes Surak. Down bright and early. I'll play Krydo, who can make things unblockable, but honestly can't compete with the pure power over here of a 3-mana 4/3. They swing in for 4. I'm not doing anything about that. And I guess he'll be sneaking in. Trying to put the stealth into Villainous stealth here. In Entish Restoration, they do have a 4-power creature, means they can turn 1 land into 3. Guess I'll grow the Tumblewag to see if I can pull off a trade. Make Krydle unblockable. Oh, Kami of Whispered Hopes has a really good scales effect. Going to make my +1/+1 counters from this Morse, which is going to discourage me from blocking and trading. Yeah, I would rather not if I can get the Kami of Whispered Hopes out. Ooh, Froghemoth! Exiles from my graveyard if I had one. I don't. We have many Suraks. We do. We have Surak. Surak and Goreclaw. Surak again. I'm going to bring out Kotis as an indestructible blocker. I will tack in with the Tumblewag. Not saddling it up first because I'm just trying to use Kotis and Krydle to double block. Or single block. Like, I don't need 2 to hit Surak. This will, by the way, grow if there's creatures in my graveyard. Oh, nice! Toski! We have 4 of them. Do we have all 4 of them in Arena? I'm trying to think. We have Surak with Flash, Surak and Goreclaw, Surak, Oh, and then there's the original one, too. I think I'd missed that one. All right, let's see. How about this and this? I don't know what they have in hand. It could even be like a snakeskin veil, put a +1/+1 counter. Smuggler's Surprise! They're giving these hexproof and indestructible. And they'll get to draw 2 cards, since Toski's in play. Was there a Surak Foundation? Was there? No, I mean it was there. I could either go for crime or just generally growing things. I'm gonna go for maximum crime here. Because if I ain't stealing, what's even the point? I'll destroy the lair of the Hydra. Put a counter on the Sawtusk Demolisher, which is actually Kotis. Make Kotis unblockable. The Foundation Surak is Dragons of Tarkir Surak. Okay. All right, we got, ooh, a lot of goodies. Tenacious Pup, Nissa Who Shakes the World, Elysian Caryatid, Ram Through. Hey, wait! I'm not done stealing! I'm not done stealing. Kotis, the Fangkeeper. Please and thanks you. It's going to be the same commander we're playing. I have some interaction, some ramp, some growth, and free leyline axe. I like seeing a free leyline axe. Is this a goofy equipment? Yes. Does it still go into deck? Yes. I actually originally had built Kotis with a lot more equipment, but the Voltron strategy of using equipments is so slow and fragile for 1v1 Brawl that I just can't recommend it. I feel like it's kind of putting all your eggs into one fairly easily removable basket. Now you're thinking like, well, isn't Kotis indestructible? Yes, but that's just not enough when people are already teched to deal with indestructible things. And it makes sense because you have things like Ketramos running around. You have lots of the other gods, things with hexproof. People are running edict effects because they need to run edict effects. I'm going to bring out this bloom tender here. A bloomin' onion. Those eggs are going to make a real good omelet. Yeah, if you want to go full on like glass cannon build with Kotis, you can. Run a ton of board wipes and just be like, I have one creature and I'm making him good. Lord Skitter. Dang, that's a wicked goose. They used up their food for that. So I feel actually pretty safe playing Kotis here. I could have also gone Tumblewag, Inquisition of Kozilek. But I want to do crime. Like, I really want to do crime. Nobody is surprised by this. Their deck is also my deck. Like, not my actual build, because I don't run Goose and stuff. But their deck is around the same commander, which means they're going to have cards that are good in my deck, because it's the same commander. It makes sense. I'm going to inquire about Kozilek. Oh, Scraps is coming in the room. Hi, Honey Bear. Tyvar Stand, Cultivate, Unnatural Restoration, Toxic Deluge. Hey, that's a way that they would be able to kill my commander. I'm going to get rid of that. Tap you for 3 mana. Bring out the swag. I'll play Shifting Woodland. Equip Kotis. Yes, they can make an indestructible Goose blocker, but I'm still getting damage through this turn. We attack in. Do you make the Goose indestructible? Hexproof? It wouldn't be any bigger, but they could do that. Or do you let me steal twice for X equals 4? Scraps, do you want to come in? Yes, you're so cute. My kitty cat's just hanging. All right, they're going to let me steal twice for X equals 4. Oh, I'm excited. Give me the goods. Give me the goods. Oh, yeah. Okay. Nyxborn Hydra, Black Blade, Lost G-Day. So this person has much more of the Voltron pieces that I actually had cut from my deck. We got an itty bitty jitty. A big old sword. Yes. I'll take a 0-1. And we do it again. They could bounce one thing back in their hand. But yeah, the Kotis was growing on our side and getting pretty cool. GG. Ugin the Ineffable. This is not the new Ugin, but they're almost certainly playing it in the deck. This is the Ugin that discounts your colorless spells, so you can cast a lot of them. You can destroy colored permanents and also make not quite manifest tokens. It's sort of like a manifest. It's manifest enough. They're going to be ramping, and then their ramp will get cheaper, and then they're going to play big colorless stuff. Cityscape levelers, Portals to Phyrexia, Eldrazi. You know, the colorless cards that we happen to have in Arena. There's not that many of them, so you take what you can get. This hand for me is all right. I have a counter spell to try and slow down the Ugin. I have Paradise Druid, who is hexproof, so kind of difficult to remove. I've got this Restless Vinestalk, which can grow Kotis. I've got Aqueous Form to go for unblockability. I've got like a good variety of different cards. So they've ramped. Ramp is good for them, not me. Paradise Druid. I'm running her over a lot of the other 2-mana dorks because of her hexproof. Because if I need to, if Kotis is completely unusable, I can put my other stuff onto her. I can mutate onto her. She's got hexproof, and she can still attack. Nice Bankbuster. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. So I am going to want to hold up that Tail's End or destroy one of their ramp pieces here. I'm going to opt for destroying the File of Galadriel or the Mere Convert. I think I'm going to go for the... File. This hurts to use for mana, even though it can also block. And this can get them additional card draw. Ooh, a Thought-Knot Seer. They will absolutely get rid of that Tail's End. It's not even like a question. It's gone. They're reading Aqueous Form. They're saying, ooh, wet. Ooh. Wet? What? Pardon? Whoa. They're letting me have the Tail's End. Okay. I don't know, that's weirding me out a little. It's weirding me out. You going for Sultai Beats? Wait. Why'd you tap that for mana? For the Bankbuster? Okay. I'll have my, indestructible Kotis next turn. Notably, this does not exile. It destroys on its -3. Creatures I control get Death Touch. Lovely. Good for them. And I guess I'll swing in with Paradise Druid. It'll make me feel good. Glaring Fleshraker. Actually a very strong card. Patchwork Automaton as well. Gonna be getting those pings in. I guess you crew with the Foundry Inspector. Since I have other removal for that. I could either go for surveilling, shock that in. I kind of like surveilling here and not using the edict. I want more information. I want to see what if I can get something for Kotis. That's not very exciting for Kotis. Lava Spur Boots. They'll swing in and I'll block. I can only block one though, so I will be taking 4. Kotis, do the thing! They were able to curve out very well though, like... They're doing the Ugins. This is the thing that needs to be made unable to scream. Gonna make me want to scream. I could go for stealing this turn. Using Restless Vinestalk, but I'd rather just stay back. And I'm very willing to block with Paradise Druid. Yeah, this card can be a big problem. Drawing a card. They still have 5 mana because of the Eldrazi spawn here. Because of Friend Spawnathan. Do you want to drop that nerf to Glaring Fleshraker? Or do you believe that you can free it? Cool. I need to sit better according to my chat. Okay, fine. I'll sit better. Nah, dude. Don't you worry. I'll get stuff that targets my own things. I am not able to attack with the Restless Vinestalk this turn, which would have been a nice little targeting ability. My pasta's being checked. It's being checked so hard. Yeah, Nadu just works very well if you have a sort of Voltron game plan. Even only triggering twice, that's still card advantage for doing what you're doing already. It feels like a better season of growth in a deck like this. Dreamstone Hedron, that's a lot of mana. 6 mana for 3. 3 Mind Stones shoved together. Not a very exciting extra turn, but I guess I'll still take it. Really? Okay. I thought they'd block with, like, Thought Knots here. Yeah, I'll kill the Automaton. Take an extra turn. There we are. Now I've got something to grow. Nadu's going to top deck check. Get me an Otawara. Kotis is now a 3/4 and not Kotis at all. He's Migratory Greathorn. And he is not attacking in because I don't have another extra turn card. But having a 3/4 indestructible feels better than just a 2/1 indestructible. Ugin! They'll be able to replay him. Like, I don't think this turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Unless that's a land. Camille! Oh, I love Camille. Wait. Oh, I see why they didn't lead with that, because I would have countered. I was like, it itself is not uncounterable. Ooh, Tumblewag. I need to do crimes. I need to do crimes! Make the Greathorn greater. Is it Chimley? I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce things. I just like hitting stuff. Alright, make, make that a 3/3. I know I'd be getting more Nadu triggers, but I want to make their blockers worse. Give me my crime. Yeah, I have another Nadu trigger off the Audacity. I want to hit the Thought-Knot Seer, since it gets me a card when it dies. Target player draws a card. That's me! I drew a card. And I'll use it, too, so I don't have to tap my Paradise. I'll grab my, like, one basic forest that's left. Throw this onto my Migratory Kotis. Top card of my deck is Bitter Triumph. Neat. So they can play Ugin. They can plus or minus. They're plussing. They got a 2/2 with a card underneath it. They're going to get another spell, too, off of Camille. My commander sure does have Trample. Trample and then some more. Gotta look at what lands they have. Field of Ruin now up, so they can destroy my my critter land, but they already destroyed it. Takachi's Dig Site lets them surveil. This can no longer draw them cards. Yeah, I'm gonna guess the card in their hand is not doing anything. My commander has the audacity of having trample. Yes. Yes, it does. It has a lot of text. We can just keep adding more text to it. You like their sleeves? I don't know what this is from. I can tell that it's like Ravnica's guilds, but I don't know what card's art this is off the top of my head. One second. I bet I could figure it out, though. While I wait for my opponent to take their game actions, I'm doing it. By the power of looking up art. It is Oreskos Sun Guide. Is that right? No. It's by the same artist? This is not helpful. Search by image. You're not helping me here. Is it Oreskos Sun Guide? Because that's what the ArtStation page came up as. No, because it's the same artist. That's why. Okay. I gotta search for that. I was like, Oreskos aren't from this plane. That's a different plane. Next. Awe for the guilds. Yeah, I'm on the ArtStation page for the artist. And it's showing up here. It's from Dragon's Mage. Awe for the Guilds. Yeah, it's called Awe for the Guild. Sorry, I got it wrong at first. I was just reading off what showed up on the page. The red sorcery. Oh, also we won. Karametra, God of Harvest. Karametra, whenever you cast a creature, is going to be getting a land, a forest, or a plains. I like that I have the Kami here, but I don't like that I don't have another land. Still missing another land here, but at least I have a fetch and a surveil, so I can try to find what I'm looking for, which is third land. I'll probably use this Wooded Foothills, able to grab, say, Breeding Pool or similar, so I can have the mana drain up. Yeah, you're a problem too, buddy. I could play the Hollowmark Siege on this turn instead, but I think that it's going to be like, if I can pull off the mana drain, I need to pull off the mana drain so I can get ahead. Karametra, landfall decks in general are very strong, and they're very, well, can go first and have a turn 1 Birds of Paradise. Mm-hmm. At least I'll have 3 extra mana, which I could use for either Overlord or Kotis. Probably gonna go for the Overlord here, since I can then hold up Wash Away still. Which I know I'm relying on my counter spells, but take what you can get. I'll actually not going to use a counter spell. I'm going to use Primal Might to kill that Mossborn Hydra before it gets any bigger. That doubles pretty much every turn. And I just realized, like, I have 6 power here. I would even trade if it worked. And that took them out. I've got mana. I'm going to start Voltroning the Kotis, and I win. Loot, the Pathfinder. Loot has 3 different abilities that can each only be activated once, or more than once if you happen to blink him, or cast him again, or just, you know, get silly with it. There's a card that allows you to activate your exhaust abilities in additional time. No idea if they have it. So this hand I kept is a slow hand. And I have a feeling they're just going to be a teamer value pile, because I also built loot, and I found that when I was building loot... Okay, you're holding up a Tail's End so you can stifle my fetch, right? No? What? Okay, I thought you were. Never mind. Gives me something to cast onto. Yeah, I found that, like, loot was just a bit of a value pile. Maybe it's a growth spiral. You pretty much just play cards in these colors that are good. Whether that's counter spells or, like, big cards like Itali. It doesn't really matter, because you don't have to synergize that much with loot to make them good. Maybe they'll have a counter spell here. I'm going to play Nadu Winged Wisdom. This goes well with all the various targeted abilities that we use to make Kotis bigger and more unblockable and everything else. Okay, Nadu's back on top of the deck. It was Memory Lapse. Two mana. They did not get a land last turn, did they? Lotus Cobra. Sure, for landfalling. They left open a blue, which to me says wash away. So I'm going to use this, and then again, Nadu. Are you going to turn him into a bird? He's already a bird. No, they're going to dispute his mere existence. Alright, well, I have a bunch of non-blue spells in hand, too. If I had played Tumblewag there, it would have resolved. Maybe. I don't know if they have more stuff in hand. Still not attacking in with things. I kind of like going for Kotis here just because it efficiently uses mana, but instead I'm going to go for the Tumblewag. And I'm going to use this to attempt... Wait, I want to do it post-combat. Tumblewag, get a counter. Boop. I'm going to try to fight Lotus Cobra. X equals 0. Snakeskin Veil. Okay, so nice little protective spell there. And I'll put the boots on the wag. Now they could tap out here, and tapping out isn't actually tapping out when you have loot, because he can turn 1 mana into 3 mana, or into 3 damage, or into draw 3. Like, they could kill wag. They could kill the wag with that ability. Swing in first, too, because, you know, deals 4 damage. Nope, they're going for Roxanne, who throws a rock. Going to try to bring out Kotis. Kotis gets the thing. Swag gets the swing. And I'm going to move the boots onto Kotis because I care so much more about Kotis dealing damage. Next turn, we also have the Sawtusk Demolisher, so I can destroy, honestly, the Meteorite over land because he's tapped for 2 so long as Roxanne is out. They might turn Kotis into a legitimate business person. He's just trying to do honest-to-goodness crime. Like any good legitimate business person would. Just ask Krenko. They shocked in a stomping ground. It's legitimate crime. Loot comes down. Roxanne and Loot swing in. Throw a rock at, I assume, my face, since Kotis is indestructible. I will block Roxanne with Kotis. And they're drawing 3 in response using Loot. They still have 3 mana up. Once Roxanne dies, that becomes 2 mana, because Meteorite will no longer have the extra mana. And a Kami of Bamboo Groves for more mana. So they have 1 green here. And now another mana if they want it. I think this is just going to come down to, like, what can I steal this turn? Oh, I hope it's something awesome. I will use the Sawtusk Demolisher on Kotis. Mutating on top, this is no longer Kotis. It is simply a beast. Currently a 7/7 since the counter is there. We're going to make it into a 9/9 using the Ozolith. And our opponent's going to concede because I guess they're too weak for a crime. I countered a bunch of stuff, but I still managed to get Kotis Tron online. The Balrog, Durin's Bane. The more artifacts and creatures you can sacrifice, the cheaper the Balrog gets. And when it dies, it destroys one of your opponent's creatures or artifacts. The Balrog can come out for very, very little mana if you're willing to sacrifice a couple treasures on the way. This is especially good with things that are just sacrificing to make mana, to make treasures, your shambling ghasts and stuff like that. Or a Shadowborn Apostle? I've never seen an Apostle version of the Balrog. That's a wild one. Okay. I'm going to start with this Birds of Paradise. I was thinking, like, do I want a Thoughtseize? I have a feeling I'm just going to see Apostles. Oh, I tripped. Thank you for the sub. Let's take a look here. Uh-huh. Yep. That's an Apostle, all right. You need 6 of them to do the thing. How many demons do I have in my deck for these? Okay, that's true. So, assuming I manage to steal their Apostles, I don't know if I have any demons in my deck. Blade of the Oni is a demon! Thank you. I have 1 demon. Can Tail's End stop the Apostles? Yes. So I'm holding up the Tail's End. Some of you will notice that I didn't play the Signet. I didn't use the tap land. Because I'm able to use the Tail's End if they play another Apostle to blank the ability. They don't seem to have red mana either. But they'll still have to sacrifice. So that should just win me the game. I've stolen a couple Apostles. I need to steal more of the. I need to steal more of them. Okay. I didn't get to steal more of them. Once again, it's Kotis, the Fangkeeper. I have the free Leyline Axe, but I have really bad mana. Am I willing to keep this anyway. No. I feel like it's so important to have good tempo in this mirror match. And this hand gives me some tempo called, I'm gonna seize your thoughts. What do you got? Halfling, Embrace, Shadow Spear, Wizard Class. I'm gonna hit the Hobbit. No turn 1 ramp for you, always bolt the bird. It's more like always shock myself to bolt the bird. I can tear asunder that, but I don't think it's worth it. I'm gonna play the Ozolith to use it in the future! I could use this for my commander. I could get the Overlord out now. I'm gonna go zombie. It's a zombie warrior. If I hadn't drawn Kami of Whispered Hopes, I definitely would have named, like, Horror and done that. Oh, by the way, Shadow Spear in a mirror match can get rid of the Indestructible on Kotis. I had Shadow Spear in my original build for this deck and took it out. Alright, I'm going to tap 1, 2 to make the Kami huge, so it taps for 4 mana. Use that to cast a full cost Overlord of the Hauntwoods. This comes in untapped, and it kind of makes it look like I have a wash away, because I was careful about making sure blue was up. Really, I was just trying to maximize my Kami mana. The secret text on Shadow Spear, also known as the text that constantly holds up priority if you have 1 mana. Yeah, it's secret. It's a secret to nobody. Do the thing again. What's your main mana? Green? Okay. I knew it had like a bunch of 1 mana on it. They're able to give flying next turn with Demonic Embrace. And I'm just accepting. You're gonna get to steal this turn. Oh my god, right? Bloated Contaminator is 3 mana 4/4 trample that proliferates on hit? Ah, dang it. The Giga Damnations. For that, I might just exile your commander. Because it made me upset. I could also get rid of the Shadow Spear, but like... +3/+1? They could do that and equip it. You may steal. Unplayable in Standard because Sheldred has 5 toughness. So real. Yeah, get some lifelink in there! Get some trample in there! Please don't steal my extra turn cards. You'll make me so sad if you do. Alright, they got Fell the Profane, Cridle, Blade of the Oni, Baleful Mastery. Oh, what a gorgeous little swing there. Not gonna wait. Doing it now. What? I could have done that last turn, too. I would just rather make Big Bird. I let you steal! You're not gonna let me steal? Oh, no, I didn't have fun. I wanted to crime back and forth forever. Mitotic Ultimus! This is going to be a huge green creature. Like, bigger than anything you've ever seen, except for maybe a Gulta. It's an 8/8, and it can cost as little as 2 mana to cast, because it gets discounted based on the biggest creature you control, kind of like the Great Henge. I will bring in this breeding pool for birds or Kami. Birds of paradise. Tweet, tweet. I do love my little bird. It's a good little bird. Gonna use the Kami of Bamboo Groves or Hinterland Harbor. Next turn I can play Kotis and maybe throw a Gem Razor on him the turn after that. No fetch lands for me to tail send there. Swinging for 1. Yeah, this is going to be just like playing super high-powered creatures. And also, I should mention, when their commander dies, it turns into 2 cards, which then in turn turn into 2 tokens. And somebody's asking, what do I write down between games when I'm recording? I'm typically writing down a combination of things. I'm gonna save the Gem Razor. I'm writing down what I played against, like what the commander was or the person's username. I'm writing down if I thought the game was like interesting or something really cool happened. Any notes like, do I need to fast forward? And also, I'm usually like writing down like just where it should go in the video. Like, should it go in the beginning of the video, middle, or end? Yeah, a little behind the scenes. I have this this notebook. I'm actually like ordering the games as I go. Nice Stompa. It makes my editing way easier for Brawl Stars. The counter did matter. I got to steal this Gwenna. I'm gonna use your mana for Gem Razor. There's nothing for me to destroy. I don't want to destroy my Kami. Oh, it's opponents anyway. Opponents only anyway. Put another counter on this. Swing in with all of these. Part of the card. Steal some goods. Steal something cool. Alright, neat. Rothka. Guardian Project. Cultivate. And I wanted the Guardian Project to come in before the Rothka. I get a boon. Next thing I come in is going to be extra thick. And I still have my Tail's End, Terra Sunder all ready to go. They have enough mana for Mitotic Ultimus, but that's what this was for. Tail's End, and I think that's going to be the end of their tail, because we just take them out nice and fast with a little bit of crime. Alquist Proft, Master Sleuth. He's going to be countering my stuff, wiping the board, and sacrificing clues to have a little bit of Sphinx's insight, drawing some cards and gaining some life. I'm not a fan of Proft because it's just Azorius control. Also, I don't know, something about him being a 3-mana 3/3 with Vigilance feels wrong to me. I feel like he should be a weak little baby who gets hit with a pipe wrench. Because that's what happens in a story. He gets hit by a Jace with a pipe wrench. We don't know it's Jace at the time, but it was Jace. This hand seems all right. I have an early creature. I have a free Leyline Axe. I have some ramp. And, like, Kotis can get equipped with this creature to make it into a 5/5 with Menace. There are some, like, exiling board wipes. Sunfall comes to mind. Farewell comes to mind. Those are the sort of things that I expect them to have in their deck, too, which is going to be tough for Kotis. I'll take a Botanical Sanctum, sure. Spoilers for... yeah, the Karlov Manor story. How many of you read or would even care to read that? Be honest. I didn't even finish reading it. I got the synopsis for me. Well, I was reading it. I was like 2 chapters in, and then Wizards of the Coast actually spoiled it during the reveal stream for the set. Like, they spoiled the whodunit part of it, and I was like, oh, man. I wanted something cool. I could go for Leyline Axe on this. That would be the most aggro thing I could do. Instead, I'm going to go for the Overlord. I want to cast spells when I think they can't be countered. Because, well, counter spells are real. They can hurt me. They are hurting me. Constantly, I'm being hurt. That's counterspells, manas. Ozolith. Yeah, it was a spoiler even if you were caught up, because they revealed it, like, genuinely before the story chapter came out. Okay. They had a bounce spell. The reveal hadn't even been in the story yet. The whodunit got dunned. Really did. Kotis! Is it getting countered? Just a guess, yes. Disdainfully. Let's get myself some mana. Put it into play. Oni. Oh no, is it more counter magic? Yeah, Essence Scatter, sure. Give me the OTK with the Overlord Tron. Jace, Unraveler of Secrets, can bounce my creatures. So, like, this dude has Flash, but I'm playing it now to get around counter magic and to give myself a Blade of the Oni with Flash. It has Ward, so, like, unless it's a board wipe, this thing is harder to get rid of. And this gives me another creature with Flash to follow up with. Unfortunately, it may turn into I have to kill Jace, but, like, I get it. I have to kill Jace. When do I not need to kill Jace? Asking the real questions here. For real. Yeah, these prof decks tend to be essentially Teferi decks in disguise. They're not really doing that much around Prof himself. Sometimes they'll run a couple clue generators. Ugh, rough. Well, at least that's one exiling counterspell down. But, like, they can't recur it. Of course they can recur it. They can just bounce this. I can destroy Jace this turn. And it's not what I want to do, but I don't think it's a bad idea, so I'm going to do that. I am going to mutate to kill Jace. Because Planeswalkers are a mistake and I don't want to think about them. So Toss Demolisher is actually no longer a artifact. I think it still has Reconfigure, which is weird but alright. Huh. And they're exiling it, which is going to actually separate the two and put them as two separate creatures. Is Jace now the place? I mean, yeah, in the Tarkir story, it sure seems like it. I can only destroy the non-basic land, but I could destroy the enchantment on the land. I'm going to try to get Kotis to land. Because if it does, then I can also use the Boseiju this turn. Or more realistically, next turn. Kotis has resolved! Long live the king, the Fangbearer himself! Hello, Alquist Proft. You horrible darling, you. Free my boys. The boys are back in town. Kotis and the Fang Gang, hell yeah! Me extra turn? Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm trying to decide if I want to shock this in first. Because there is a counterspell that taxes for 3 that their deck is likely running. I'm just gonna go for this. Alright, extra turn, bounce the thing. What happens if you reconfigure a mutated card? I have no idea. Yeah, it would have been just 2. Okay, Archmage's Charm. Very charming. Swinging with all these. It's not an equipment anymore, so it doesn't do anything. Yeah, it sounds right. So Proft does not need to block here. I think they'll probably let 9 damage go through since they can gain like 7 life next turn. Yeah, I think they just like put the beast in front of Kotis. Oh, no, you're gonna let me kill Proft? Please let me kill Proft. Please let me kill Proft. Yes, I'm so into killing Proft. Gotta be one of my favorite things. Now I wonder what they're gonna do to Kotis. They're gonna let it hit. Okay. Let me steal. What do we got on top of that deck? Thirst for Discovery and Lorien Revealed. Well, I can't use either of those. Please let me kill Proft, quote Tristani. Real. They're down to 6 life. They've already exiled so many of the things that I know and love. And hey, it's the real commander of their deck, Teferi, Hero of Dominaria. He draws, he untaps, and eventually he exiles all of the permanents you control, including your lands. They put the boy in business school. He's a legitimate business boy. He's a legitimate business boy who craves violence. Do you want to block Kotis? Or this? Yes! 1 entire damage!
Keep up the pace.
A key to the archives with 5 mana up could get them anything from an extra turn to a board wipe to a win condition, a counter spell, a kill spell. What if they're looking at the things in blue and white? It looks like they got Mana Tithe and they're just no, that's a Mana Tithe they have in their deck. It doesn't have the A22 symbol. That's not on the spell book. Day of Judgment? Did you get Day of Judgment? No, Time Warp. Okay. Yeah. Okay. They untap. They do it again. Tristani is also now at 7 loyalty. Welcome back, Proft. See if I can get this Krydle to resolve. They have 3 cards in hand and can draw another using this clue. Not only are they countering it, they're also making another token. So they can use Proft twice. Great! I'll show you that I got nothing. So I can actually get up for a second and make some tea.
Keep up the pace.
Did I miss anything? Oh, they're gonna use Proft, I guess, at instant speed. Sure. Kotis, get some trample in your life. Near infinite mana. They got, yeah, clues. Great. Swingin'! Teferi can ult next turn. And then Proft can actually just, like, obliterate every single permanent I have. Aw, man. They made Kotis not have text. I can't steal Teferi with Hostage Taker. But I can exile my own Sawtusk Demolisher. mutate onto my Birds of Paradise, and destroy Teferi. Let's see if it works! Yeah, I'd love to mutate on a Kotis. That would be awesome. But I can't have Teferi ulting. I got a 6/6 freaking flying Birdman. Tweet, tweet. They gain 9 life. They draw 9 cards. And I'm gonna sip my tea. Good tea. They're using Fractured Identity to make a clone of my Hostage Taker, exiling my Sawtusk Demolisher and Birds of Paradise. They are able to play both of those. What kind of tea is this? Peppermint. It's some peppermint tea to calm me down after dealing with this guy! I just want to play a game of Magic the Gathering and steal all your spells. Actually, I find Kotis is especially weak against a lot of these decks, these draw-go controls, because the spells you're stealing are oftentimes things that are interacting with the stack. They're counter spells. Sometimes you'll hit, like, their Swords to Plowshares. Sometimes you'll hit, like, a Planeswalker or something like that. But, like, I've had Kotis hit, and the only castable spells, unless I get Kotis to be huge, and Kotis usually can't be huge because they just keep blinking him, bouncing him, turning him to a nothing, they're counter spells. And I can't use those. They get the Demolisher, the Birds, and I guess I'll block. They have 16 cards in hand and no maximum card size. Alright, or no maximum hand size. You should let me hit. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8. Like it's gonna resolve. I can believe. Oh, it resolved. What? Slightly ahead in resources. I was ahead once, then I got farewelled. Kotis is gonna go to jail. I free Kotis from jail. This is the jail that goes away in 2 turns. I go to 2 life. Snapcaster flashes back. Time Warp, because it doesn't exile itself. They take an extra turn. They swing in, and the game is done. GG, Proft. I wish you didn't exist. At least the Birds of Paradise was getting in for revenge. You dare play me? Die! She's just sad she didn't get tapped for mana. Progenitus! It's big, it's a baddie, and it costs 10 mana. This hand has nothing I can cast in it. No, Amy, don't keep that. You saw me. I'm like, what if I kept it? What if I kept that hand? I could start with ramp, but I don't have anything I'd want to ramp into, so I'm going to start with, instead, Inquisition of Kozilek. Does this Progenitus deck have a theme? Or is it just stuff? It looks like a bunch of Simic things. Simic Landfall? Are you Simic Landfall but 5 color? Okay. If you can get to 10 mana, Progenitus kills in 2.5 hits. And I'd say in a lands format where people are running fetch lands and will bring themselves down to 20, it kills in 2 hits. Unless it's a life gain deck. Progenitus, I think, is probably going to amount to a 5-color good stuff deck. Because that's what works. It is something with big protection, but it's also something that can be countered, and it costs 10 mana. Yeah, do you think they'll actually cast Progenitus? I don't know. More lands. All right. I'll put a... None of these are really what I want. Go Innkeeper's Talent. Make my Hobbit grow! They might get some... make things uncounterable. Like, they're gonna get to 10 lands pretty fast. Here's Kotis! Time for more lands. Urban Evolution. Draw 3. Play an additional land. It's like Big Explore. Yeah, they've definitely got the put lands into play thing down. If I use Kotis here, am I literally only going to see lands? I feel like I'm only gonna see lands. Only one way to find out? Yeah, I guess I'll steal. Migration Path and Growth Spiral. Okay, they're not technically lands, they just get lands. They got 10 mana! Okay, well that's... yeah, it doubles the mana from these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. Okay, I'll hit the Atali. I didn't hit your commander. I didn't hit your Mirari's Wake. I let you ramp. Kenrith returned king. King Kenny is going to be doing all sorts of things because he's 5 colors and has very strong abilities. Giving trample and haste, growing your creatures, gaining life, drawing cards, or reanimating things. And technically Kenrith can let me benefit from those as well. He never does. He doesn't let me gain life. He doesn't put counters on my creatures. Kenrith, I feel like you should do more to make my stuff better. Hello, Ornithopter of Paradise. Would you care to block my frog? Psychic Frog in here, because it kind of fits that, like, on-hit theme. I'll swing in with the Psychic Frog. Don't need to buff it up, since they didn't block. Oh, and a free Nashi. Gross. I will play this Kami of Bamboo Groves to get one more land in play. I actually think that channeling it would have been fine here, in part because it would have put more fodder in my hand for the Psychic Frog. And my cat is, yes, my cat is in here. She came in, was biting my toes, and decided I need to be a part of this video. Hi, Oracle of the Alpha. It's a little scruffy puffer. Go to combat. Swing in with the Psychic Frog. Easy. All right, I'm going to be discarding this Brokos, because I can mutate from the graveyard with it. And I think I'm also going to discard... No, I think just one is fine here, not killing this. Because I want to play Kotis and hold up the Snakeskin Veil. I'll see if this is a wash away. Nope. All right, we're good. In 5 colors, it could also be a Swords to Plowshares. It could be a Patriarch's Humiliation. It could be a Fading Hope. I'm going to make Kotis hexproof until end of turn. My cat's going to get put on the head some more. Hi. What are you doing? You want more brushies? Aww. But now they can exile Kotis. That's fine. They've taken it out. And I can cast it again soon. Yes, you're giving me such a look. Like, why aren't you giving me enough love? I'm sorry, little Puff Muffigan. It's hard when you're this small. So something kind of interesting about Psychic Frog is that it, unlike almost every single other on attack or on combat damage thing, does trigger when it hits planeswalkers. I'm saying this because I'm attacking a planeswalker. Psychic Frog with Brokos on it will still draw me a card. Yeah, the only other cards that did that were the ones from War of the Spark. All the other ones are either just when you have a creature deal combat damage to a player. Some of them are when you deal any combat damage. That's pretty rare, though. And then the occasional card is player or battle. And those were the ones from March of the Multiverse. Oh my god, Scraps. Or March of the Machine. Sorry. There's a cat very much in my way and distracting who needs scritchies right now. Teferi can phase out my Psychic Brokos. I am very much Planeswalker Tunnel Vision. Let me kill you. Nashi, grab me that snakeskin veil. I need to kill this Teferi. Target creature? What target creature? Draw me another card. Kotis is like, am I gonna get to do crime at all? No. Maybe when Psychic Frog dies, then I can mutate with Brokos again. I get to draw a card. Oh, Birds of Paradise. Yes, please. Yeah, this is, I'm guessing, just 5-color good stuff. Possibly based in Esper Control, based on the spells we've seen so far. If they cast that memory, I can get silly and, like, discard 2 extra cards since we'd be drawing a fresh 7 anyway. Chase, Unraveler of Secrets. Would you like to put my tiny birdie back in my hand? Maybe my Brokos / Psychic Frog? Would you like to just scry and draw? I can and will continue to attack you. Planeswalker Tunnel Vision. I will kill every Planeswalker if I can. Bye, girl. They're going for scrying and drawing. Is it Kenrith Super Friends? I mean, they've played 3 different Planeswalkers so far, so I'm gonna say yes. Give 3 mana up. And they're putting my frog type thing in witness protection. All right. It's a 3/3. Do you want to attack? Or do you want to protect? Lads, get 'em! Do it again. Little there. Little here. And I'm just going to completely empty out my board, or my hand onto the board. For 2 reasons. The first is, unless the board wipe they get is an exiling one, I will be able to reuse my Brokos. And also, like, whatever. I want to play creatures. I want to do crimes. Kenrith, come on out. They have 3 mana, so they could gain life, put counter, give haste. Any of those. Ooh, Fangkeeper's familiar. Yeah, it's like I also want to like set up for that memory potentially. Boop, 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 boop. They could put a counter for more blocks. I think some of y'all know what I'm gonna do. Destroy an enchantment. But I don't want them to know. I was kind of hoping they would block with Kenrith and then I could do it. Fangkeeper's familiar. Hey, who's the Fangkeeper? It's this guy! Hey, Kotis, how you doing? This is my snake. I brought it from home, and it's a very helpful spell because it can do 3 different things. It could either gain life and surveil, or destroy an enchantment, or counter a creature. This is kind of in here for flavor, but also for fun. Aw, man! It got tails ended. Whatever, I'm still doing damage. Unfortunately, that damage means very little with the amount of life that Kenrith can gain. This card, having 3 mana, gain 5 life is pretty stupid. Like, if it was 3 mana, gained 3 life, kind of like, is it Zakama that has that? It's the big dinosaur that untaps your lands. That'd be one thing. But nah. Yeah, they wanted to Narset memory. But they didn't get a Narset. And I know what I'm getting. Revenge. An offer I can't refuse? Oh yeah? Watch me. You want to gain some life? You want to gain some life? That's right, you do. I think I have lethal, though. Oh boy, 1 extra mana. Mutate onto Kotis. Kotis, free my business, Broko. Bro. Get an extra counter on there. If it's not lethal, at least it's crime. Oh no, it's so lethal. Didn't even get to steal, was too busy growing my critters. GG, Kenrith. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Brawl Stars. I sure did get to do crime with Kotis, but not as much crime as I would have liked because typically people will leave if you start snowballing with this commander, because if you make it unblockable, if you make it too big for them to block, give it trample, there isn't a real purpose to them sticking around unless their deck has ways to deal with this. In blue, that's usually removing the abilities or bouncing it. In black, you can exile it, same with white. But against green, it's really just a matter of you have to be bigger than Kotis. And if Kotis is unblockable, that's not that doable. Though, admittedly, you can also just, like, kill your opponent before they steal from you. Made harder by the fact that Kotis can be an indestructible blocker. I think the indestructible on Kotis is huge and does make a really big difference in this game. I'm also really happy that this is a good excuse to play some of the newer cards, including some of the new removal like Awaken the Honored Dead. As I mentioned in the video, I actually went through a bunch of iterations with this deck, trying to figure out what balance of, say, removal and counter spells and things to buff Kotis I wanted, and I ended up leaning more on making Kotis huge than stopping my opponent from doing their thing. You'll notice there's a couple counter spells still in here, but not that many. Also a couple extra turn spells because they let you hit more than once so you can steal more than once. If you're looking for my deck list, you can find it in the description of the video. And if you'd like to suggest a commander, please let me know in the comments below. Also, if you get to steal with this deck, let me know what you steal. I had a game off camera where I think I stole like 6 cards in one hit because they were all these like 2 and 3 mana spells from an aggro deck, and I was just loving it, just like spitting out all these creatures. Suddenly I have a board and my opponent is just like, well, what was I supposed to do? Block? No, because it was an unblockable Kotis. Thank you all so much for watching, and have a brawlful day.